Good evening and welcome to a combined operations hangout. Tonight you are joining myself, Matt, and all the way from up north, almost in Scotland, is Mr. Basie.
Evening all. Yeah, it's not quite Scotland, mate, but yeah, I suppose for you, about far down.
With that accent,
Almost.
I'm always getting confused.
Almost in France down there. It probably is almost Scotland up here.
Love me a baguette. So actually, I'm on the old red vino tonight. While painting, obviously, since that's how I roll. Because this way, the painting doesn't look as bad as I think it is.
Yeah, it always looks better. It always looks better after a bottle of red.
It takes 2 bottles to make them look really good. I might actually use it to paint their robes. As you can probably tell from the title of this hangout, we are going to be talking about the new Footsore Miniatures and Games game, Mortal Gods. And I'm not sure if on my screen this is back to front. I'm not sure if this is back to front on YouTube. I actually think it flips it, but
it does flip it. It's
okay.
looking normal.
So you can read it. I can't. This looks backwards. But yes, we're going to be talking about Mortal Gods. So this is a game that I was involved in the original sort of concept design while it was still sort of a Greek reskin of Test of Honor. As it sort of started drifting away from Test of Honor, I was asked to help more with Test of Honor version 2, and other people took over helping on this game. So the final game is not what I was sort of play testing, and it's quite different actually. So when I actually got the rulebook finally through, although I was expecting a lot of it was also quite new to me as well. So it was nice to get the book through and have it here. Chris has also bought into the game, which is why he's joining me this evening. And we're both going down different routes with our sort of first war bands. I am painting up the Spartans, and Chris is painting up some other Greeks that no one really cares about.
Oh yeah. Just some random bunch of Greeks, The rest of kind of Greece as it was, maybe, I don't know. But yeah, anyway, not the Spartans because I don't like them. So there you go. And you can, basically keep your Spartans, and I'll have these. And eventually, you might meet somewhere and actually play against each other with them, which would always be nice as well.
We will be.
Yeah. And I've basically, I got a box of Athenians ages ago for a different game system. Never thought anything more about them, really. Had them in a box, kind of hidden away as something to do in the future. And obviously this game came out, and obviously I was on some forums finding out about it, as it was originally, as you say, kind of reskin of Test of Honor. And I thought, well, it's Andy, and he's a great guy, so I thought I'll buy a starter set. He was doing a fantastic offer for us on the Facebook group as well, so I bought the starter set, which came in March. I've only really opened it up properly in the last couple of days, and if people are following the Facebook group, you'll see pictures of my guys getting undercoated and then basic tunics. Now I've done the skin because I'm a bit of an OCD guy and have to do stuff in order and basically across the board. And I can't possibly do something else or waste any paint either, so I have to kind of do all the bronze next or something like that. And yeah, I mean, I use the Athenians out of the box, so I've actually got a couple spare sprues, which we were talking about earlier on. The box set itself, when it comes back on sale, I don't know if it's actually still on sale now or if he's just getting ready to resale again.
It's currently back on pre-order because the first batch sold out, basically. I was lucky enough to be at Salute with Footsore.
Yes.
I was there talking about Test of Honor, but it was very, very popular, and a lot of the boxes were sold. I think there's still the Athenian and the Spartan box sets available, but the actual main box set, I think, sold out and is now back on pre-order, waiting for the next batch.
I mean, I would highly recommend it to anybody who's thinking about it, because what you get in the box is truly fantastic. A fantastic rule book, which Matt showed there. Some very, very good high quality dice in the box. Far
Oh,
better.
the skull dice are awesome.
Yeah, far better than the dice and the bits and pieces you got with the original Test of Honor set.
Agreed.
I mean, end of the day, Test of Honor was an amazing game, but I always felt those little tiny dice were always that thing that kind of it felt funny in your hand and stuff like that. But these are proper dice and proper really nice counters as well with for the activation sequence as well, which I'm
Oh yeah,
really
you've got your
like.
Gangs of Rome style pebbles.
The pebbles, yeah, which I really like. I like the pebbles.
Again, I've got the original tokens for when we were playtesting this originally, and it was the sort of laser cut. Probably got them here somewhere. Laser cut like tokens like you've got for Test of Honor, like you chuck in the bag and you draw out your samurai token. I've got the Greek versions of those, but obviously we're not using those now, so we get the nice heavy pebbles instead.
Yeah, I like that. I'm sorely tempted to get a Mortal Gods pebble bag as well, I think, but I haven't done that because I've got an awesome combined ops one which I'd like to use instead. I think at the moment.
Of course.
So, of course, but with Dad on the back of it, which is always nice as well.
Well, yeah.
Rattenbury. But yeah, no. I've been really impressed with the quality of the product itself. And hold on 2 seconds, guys. Bit of background there. The wife's just sorting out the kids' tea. Need a studio or deliver my own like Matt does. A little hobbit hole somewhere down south. Yeah. No. The quality of also the quality of that he's joined up with Vitrix, who are an amazing maker of plastic injection molded miniatures, which are superb figures as well. Is grand and really nice to paint. If I'm honest, something that's pretty much terrified me was painting these. If I'm honest, because I'm so used to painting Second World War stuff, all very much beige and field grey. And these guys, I was saying to Matt before, I had to go out and buy some bright colours for a change. And it's been really nice to get my hands onto them and start painting them and getting them somewhere near. And it's actually put a bit of, I actually got a bit of enjoyment out of it, even with the amount I've done, because I've done a bit too many hoplites. But the question is, can you ever do too many hoplites? That's a big question.
Not with the speed, yours will be dying.
Well, the quality won't be there, but the speed will be. Yes. I think me and Mr. Agrax will sort out some bits and pieces here and there. But yeah, no. But no, I've been really pleased with them, and I can't wait to get to the game and start doing some demonstrations at my local club as well. But
yes.
Yeah, good.
And you're going to come down south, and we're going to have a weekend of it.
Definitely. I think we're going to invite Admiral Drax himself, aren't we? And
I'm sure Mr. King will turn up at some point.
Mr. King is going to potentially come and join us, and he can wax lyrical about his fantastic articles in WSS or at the moment, which he's having reading a lot of. So yeah, it'd be good to get a game or two in, see how we get on.
Yeah, he was over playing Cruel Seas the other day.
Yeah, saw you guys playing that. It looked a bit special. That it looked nice.
I just completely off topic of Mortal Gods, but I did actually I enjoyed myself playing that game. I knew I'd enjoy playing it. It's still not something I don't think I'd buy into. But it's a funny play it again.
Yeah, it's a funny one. It's one where again, it's another one where again these systems keep coming out. Lots of systems come out, and I'm trying to sort of keep myself on the straight and narrow on things at the moment. So my thing is Mortal Gods is pretty much honestly buying the start set. You are up and running with a really good, at least 340 point aside warband. The game plays at about 300 points, so you've got loads of options in there alone. And on top of that, you buy some extra miniatures. Either you buy the expansion sets from footsore for Athenians or Spartans, yeah, so everybody will be buying the Spartans, obviously, because they're so cool. Are you buy yourself a couple boxes?
I actually think Andy told me that Athenians had sold more.
Well, because they're cool.
I might be making that up, but I think Andy did tell me it sold more Athenians.
But the way they've generously given you in the starter set all the cards for all the different units means.
Oh, the amount of cards is ridiculous.
Well, yeah, you've got everything, and the thing that gets me there is you could actually go out. You can go you can go to Victrix, which is always a great place to go, and buy a box or two or a sprue or two or whatever you want to do of miniatures. You can go onto eBay and do the same kind of thing where people split the boxes down.
This is the amount of cards you get.
Yeah, you get tons and tons of cards for each side. So
it's like 163 cards. They're not all recruitment cards, but you've got the omens and the skills and stuff. But yeah, it's ridiculous.
I mean, the thing that gets me is actually the research that's gone into the units is fantastic as well, because it isn't just slingers, javelins, and hoplites. It is a lot more than that. There's a lot more types of nuances in there for different types of hoplite, for different types of peltas javelin men, or javelins, or slingers, or Cretan archers, or different units, or unarmored hoplites, and all sorts of things in there, which I think adds loads of flavour to the game, and also allows you to play the game how you want to play it. So you can be a kind of light hit and run type army. You can be a missile heavy army. You can be a Thracian peltas styled army until the Thracians come out, which are going to be coming out soon as well in resin. Or you can do what I want to do, which is really run the old phalanx and run the hoplite heavy armor, heavy kind of list with hoplites in linen armor, kind of making the main force of mine, with some sort of skirmishes to help out here and there. But
and the fact you can form up into phalanxes is really cool as well.
Well, yeah, I mean, that's awesome. I mean, you can, if you've got enough there, you can really form a real kind of unit in the middle. I mean, for being a saga player as well, being one of my main games, this kind of really kind of plays to me as well. The type of size of the game this is, it's got a real kind of, it's got some real kind of benefit to it. Interesting. I was reading some stuff around, people saying it's 300 or 400 point, the best point scale. Really only seeing the very early demo game and playing around with the rules with some hoplites unpainted at the time. I don't know what the point is, what the best point scale is. I always like smaller point scales. It makes you pick your force. You can't take all the toys.
Honestly, I would say this game, I know it's not, because of how it's built, you could go as big as you want.
Well, this is the thing that I was wondering about, is how, I mean, because I've been looking at running sort of some kind of ancient games in a bigger scale, but I didn't know how this scaled up or scaled down. But I was going to test that out as a theory of mine as well, to see how big you can go, how many hoplite units you can run and form up and things like that.
It depends how long you've got to play, but
exactly, yeah.
I could
but I think
see 500-700 point games being a normal thing.
Yeah.
Because what this game does, unlike Test of Honor, because we're going to be comparing it to that a lot, it allows you to take more heroes, so you're not restricted to just one hero. Only one of them counts as your boss, but you can take more.
Which kind of adds to the kind of the mortal gods element to it, doesn't it? It adds to the. I mean, thinking of other systems, you could run Lion Rampant with these hoplites, or you could run other games with the same kind of units in there. But I think Mortal Gods adds a lot more of the cards and the options and the fate and all the rest of the things that come into the game, adds a lot more to it. So, but yeah, I think it's. I'm really quite excited about it, actually, and I think that's what's got me painting actually so much, and going like I have been is a painting. So yeah.
Well, like I said, I'm going to send you some of mine eventually because I'm bored already. I hate painting.
Oh, yeah. I don't like painting. I wish I had the money. I wish I had like the huge amounts of money to get somebody else to paint them for me, but I don't, unfortunately. I'm not really that lucky at the moment, but I also wish I had the skill that some of my friends have for painting as well, which I don't have. But I do the best I can and keep going. But,
yeah, that's it. The thing is, stuff like the hoplites, I'm just gonna get done. I'm not too fussed. As long as they look, as long as they look like, people are gonna look at them and go, oh, that's cool. They look like Spartans. I'm happy with that. Like the metal figures, I'll take a bit more time over.
Yeah, yeah.
And obviously, I've got
yeah.
This was the model box special.
I like him.
Character, which was he's pretty cool. So he's on a resin base, and I've got a couple extra of these resin bases, and I was going to put my Spartan character on one, and I completely forgot and just glued him straight to a normal base. So I could break him off, but I'm sort of thinking now, actually, I might just base him normally so he looks like the rest of the force. But,
I'd happily break him off his base for you if you need me to. I mean.
Yeah, but you'll do it with a hammer.
But potentially.
Yeah.
Right. I'm just looking for the list. I'm not being kind of ignorant here. I'm looking for the list of things I said to you I need to do on these figures. I'm going to try and write them down and then work out which colours I'm doing it. So I've done skin.
Shields?
Shields are ready for the transfers.
But they're on the model yet?
No, Matt. Explain that one to me. Explain that to me. How was that? The question I asked you was, do I put the shields on before painting them? Oh no, Chris, don't do that. Don't possibly do that. And what did Matt do? What did Matt do with his? Remember Matt?
I stuck all my shields on.
Stuck all your bloody shields on. I remember now. Yeah.
But I regret it.
Yeah, I can imagine. I bet you regretted not having to paint half a model once it was stuck on.
Yeah, it looks awful. Really did not save me any time at all.
None at all. No. I've what I've done is I've actually sprayed all my shields, and because little handy hint to anybody doing shield transfers and using the little big men transfers in particular, which I like using. They are white on white backing. Now, if you don't paint white underneath it, the shield look really murky. The transfer looks really murky once you put it onto your shield. So you've always got to do a kind of quite a bright white underneath before you put the transfer onto the shield, or it comes through as like a murky grey or whatever, because you've took the backing off it. So therefore, the shield is now transparent and uses whatever's behind it as its main kind of brightness. So you've always got to be careful of that one. I think some don't need it. I think some are already coloured, but everyone I've used so far, from the Normans, Vikings, everything I've used so far has needed white behind them to make them work.
Yeah, I've done that. I think the ones I've got for my Spartans actually suggest you paint them bronze first.
Yeah, I think the Spartan ones are slightly different. There is a collection of Spartan ones on the Victrix website for little big men, which are already a bronze colour. So it's just, in general, though, they're generally white. But yeah, I think you probably have some.
There you go. That's one of the original playtesting tokens. I'll keep these. They might be collectors sometimes. So you've got the hero and the commoner there.
I remember those. Yes. Yeah, right.
So, and the old fate tokens. Who's the?
Yeah, right. Yeah.
Oh, and I honestly can't remember what this token was for, but it's a token for something. I just don't remember what this one was for. I got some blood drops. I've got some slingers. It's and all of these are just from my playtesting. So none of these are actually the models from the actual box that I've got had delivered. For those of you that haven't seen the wound dice, these are the wound dice. These are awesome.
They are awesome. They're such
So
lovely.
I know that Jez was using these for a game of Saga the other day at his club, and
As fatigue markers.
no, he was using them as actual dice because obviously they've got the numbers on,
Oh, right.
so you can use these as dice. And apparently the 40k players were coming over and being like, "Oh, where'd you get them? I need some of them. They're awesome." So Jez might be responsible for these, dice going out of, selling out because all his local 40k players want these awesome skull dice. They are cool though. They are real cool. I like them. But yeah, obviously these are just wound markers for this game. And Chris has dropped out. He might be coming back. He might not.
I'm back. Sorry.
Oh, Chris's northern internet.
Well, my internet is basically 2 pieces of string. There's a piece of string, 2 cups on it. That's my internet. Yeah. Jez is responsible for a lot of things, though, isn't he? So that's the least of our worries with Jez.
Yeah, most of them aren't that good, to be fair.
Yeah, like convincing me to start looking at 15mm Saga, that kind of thing. You mean? Yeah.
Yes. Well, that's just rude of him.
Oh, yeah, he does it all. Yeah, he's always doing things. I can't find my paint. Where's it gone? Oh, another thing I do is put all my paints in numbered order as well, just so everybody's aware of.
Yeah, you loser. He's dropped out again. He's shocking. But yes, while he's coming back in with his paints, if anyone is interested in Mortal Gods, and I suggest that it's something you should be interested in because it's a very good game, then you should pick up a starter set because once they come back into a sale anyway, because for 50 quid you get 40 odd minis. I'm just chatting, mate, because you just did again. But you get 40 odd minis, the rule book, a ton of cards, and some measuring sticks and bases and everything you need to play basically for 2 people, and you can easily split it between 2 of you. Just the rule book, obviously, that you have to share.
Yeah, totally. I think it's back again. Am I here?
Yeah, you're back.
Sorry, that's absolutely shocking tonight. Kids are killing it. Yeah, I think the starter set itself, what comes in the box is amazing. I'm gonna sort this out.
I don't think you can.
I can because I'm putting myself on my mobile hotspot.
Fair enough.
That's fair.
I'm just going to have some more nectar of the gods.
No, I was saying there. I think the actual starter set itself has just got so much gear in it. It's brilliant. Superb.
I mean, one of my favourite bits. This has to be one of my favourite bits. The old spear measuring sticks. These are awesome.
It's one of the bits I really like about Saga is the measuring sticks.
You loser.
Have I lost again?
No, you're still there.
Right. Just.
And they're in different styles. This is like, that's just attention to detail there.
Yeah.
Oh, burntwood smell.
Yeah. Every war game show in the world smells of burnt wood nowadays. It's amazing.
But yeah, these are freaking cool. I might need to get some more of these actually, just so I can start throwing them at my opponents. But yeah, the minis. So let me get my camera down there. Let's show you some minis that we've got here. There's some of them, if you don't pay too much attention to the desk, because there's all sorts going on here. But this corner at the moment. So we've got, these are the hang on a minute, let me figure out which is which. So you've got the 2 on the 25mm bases, and the guy at the front there are the Spartan characters that come from the Spartan box. So these you can only get at the moment from that Spartan box. So this is Mionis, the Spartan leader, with his sword there. And then you've got just a couple of Spartan hoplites. You've got a Spartan medium hoplite, which is actually possibly my favorite one, just with the way he's holding his shield and spear there. And then you've got a light hoplite Spartan here, just with this spear out and his velvet. This is just this was the footsore promo model from March. And again, you can buy this one, I think, separately. Promo Choi 1, I think, wasn't it? This is the event only mini. I've stuck a Spartan shield on it, but it's a generic one, so let's just zoom out a bit. It's not struggling to focus. So that's one there. This was the model box mini, which is on his resin base. So he's one of the only minis I've actually finished painting. He's got a pretty cool shield. And then just a load of plastics that I'm working on. And this guy was the pre-order mini. So he is another awesome miniature. Actually, it's too cool not to use. So he's just quality. I wish I had more than one of these, because I'd love to build. He comes with the option of a spear and a sword. I'd love to have the sword option as well. He also comes with a couple of different heads, but I went with what's going to suit my force the most, which is this style. Maybe we'll get Chris to build his differently.
I'll have to get one first.
Did you know what?
Pick some up.
Why didn't you get one?
I haven't got any.
What, did you not get? What, not the one jumping off the stump?
Nope, didn't get any.
But you pre-ordered, didn't you?
Yep.
Send him a message.
I will do. I'll drop my.
Or I'll send you Stumpy.
Is that? Yeah, you can maybe send me Stumpy, but I'll drop my message anyway. But I didn't realise you got one with the. I didn't realise you got one with the what you call them.
Yeah, if you pre-ordered. So I actually have two. I say I wish I had two. I actually do have two of these, but my first one came with a slight miscast, and he just has a stump and not a leg. So I'll make this into like a casualty.
I would. I'll do something with him. You want to do? I mean,
I might be able to figure something out. I definitely can't sculpt the leg. I'm not that good, but I might be able to. There we go.
That would go.
Mangle him a bit more and paint him as an Athenian.
I would.
I don't think you would you? Not paint him as an Athenian.
I'd paint him as an Athenian. That was an Athenian casualty. You, obvious love of Spartans.
I do. I love an oiled up man in red.
No. In all honesty, it's great that they've got. I mean, it's one of those things where I probably have not more knowledge, but I can identify more with the hoplites than I can with samurai. I think to a degree.
See, I'm still definitely more of a samurai person, 100%. And I think I know more about. I don't know, actually. Do you know what? I don't really know a lot about either. But I do love my Greek mythology, though.
There you go.
So, but I also love my Japanese films and stuff. So. Yeah. I think both games scratch itches. I mean, for you, literally, because you keep sitting on your hoplites.
Well, I did sit on one yesterday. It was rather painful for both the hoplite and me. So
yeah, obviously, I'm super excited that this is getting a mythic supplement, which is actually the next one. So, which is always going to be the first, like, sort of expand the first. There'll be more models coming out in the meantime, but it'll be the first like expansion book. And then I know they're planning on doing like a Trojan War book as well.
That would interest me a lot. That would be more, yeah, because that's that's good.
But I've seen some of the pictures of the mythic models that they've got sculpted, and wow, the Hydra is incredible. It's going to be one hefty chunk of resin, I think, and probably reasonably expensive, but I think it might be one of the nicest Hydra models out there.
Well, the thing about that is it'll double for a lot of people for Age of Magic as well, which is
yes, yeah. Obviously, that's also the new skeleton. Well, I can't remember what company's doing it, but the new skeleton Greeks. They look pretty cool as well.
Yeah, who was that? I can't think it's called now. There's a company doing them, isn't there? I've seen it on Facebook. I don't think it was now.
I want to say like War Games Atlantic or something like that.
That's it. Yeah. It is, yes.
They look pretty cool.
Yeah, look nice on the sprue, don't they? Look nice.
So I'm a big fan of Jason and the Argonauts. Was that? No, wait, hang on.
Yeah.
I say that out loud. Was it Clash of the Titans that they were in?
No, Jason and the Argonauts.
Yeah. It was Jason and the Argonauts, wasn't it? Yeah,
he gets the Hydra's teeth, doesn't he?
That's it, and they fall in. Yeah, that's it. I should know that. I was listening to Stephen Fry's Heroes. And I say listening because I've got the audiobook because I couldn't go to read it. And they retell the Jason and the Argonaut story. And it's very, very good. Actually, the whole book is very good. I recommend that to everyone listening, if anyone is listening, or if they listen in the future. Stephen Fry, Heroes, is a brilliant. It's a sequel to Mythos. So Mythos is sort of the more mythological like one, and then Heroes is based on like the mortal. Funny enough, the mortal heroes. So all your mortal gods. So it's got the story of Hercules, which is really sad, by the way. I didn't realize that like the actual story of Hercules was so tragic.
Oh, right, not the thing on television then.
Oh, no, not the Disney version, funnily enough.
Right.
Like, he did those trials because he murdered his wife and kids.
Whoa.
What? Yeah, spoilers. Yeah, Hercules was accidentally an idiot. Like, he was tricked by someone. I can't remember who it was now. But basically, they put the image in his head that his wife and kids were like some dragon, and he murdered them. And then was like, "Oh, I just murdered my wife and kids." Greek mythology, if you do like a family blood killing, it's like one of the worst things you can do, and only a king or like a high priestess or priest or whatever can basically atone you of that sin. So he went to his, I want to say like uncle or something like that, and was like, "Can you please atone me for this killing? You know, I feel really bad about it." And he was like, "No, you're gonna have to do these trials." So the trials of Hercules were because his the king, I can't remember if it was his, I think it was his uncle, was just like, "Well, I want you to do all of these ridiculous things that are going to get you killed," and obviously they didn't get him killed. He kept achieving them. And then at the end of it, he was partying and ended up killing someone else, and then having to do more trials because he like backhanded some kid, and the kid died. He literally is a fuck up. Oh, he also murdered like a whole tribe of centaurs because he started drinking their wine
Yeah.
So it ended up in a fight, and he killed them all, apart from like 2. So the Hercules story is very tragic. Mainly because of his own doing, his own clumsiness. He was literally clumsy, and people died because of it. And then he had to do a ton of stuff.
Got to learn something new now, right? So like, every day is a school day.
Yeah, absolutely. There's many other good stories in that though, and it, like I said, it is well worth a listen or a read. Probably a listen, because it's much easier listening to Stephen Fry pronounce all the names for you than trying to read them all yourself.
Yeah,
but it's got Perseus in there. It's got Jason. It's got Hercules. It's got all the others that I can't remember. But yeah, well worth it. So there you go. My tip of the day is go and listen or read that. That's not what I want. There it is. Or indeed Mythos, because that's also very good.
Oh, so I haven't seen either one of them, so I'll have to look into
it. In my mind, anything Stephen Fry has written or narrates is generally pretty good. Or just watch Disney's Hercules, because that's a slightly more feel good.
Yeah, I might feel a bit about that one. Yeah, I might just, or maybe it's not. Anyway, yeah.
Bless my soul, Herc was on a roll.
Whoa. I don't know what happened to our viewers, but that was weird. It
happens from time to time.
It does, doesn't it? Sorry, guys, I'm just concentrating a second. I was just listening to Matt, and I'm just trying to get some straps done on these guys, and then just trying to get them done, and I'll be 6 slingers in my hole done. That's good. Ready for whatever needs to happen to them next. Yeah. I wasn't actually going to do this tonight, I was going to have a bit of a break from painting hoplites, because I'd done all the skin last night, and it was a bit like, whoa, how much skin can one man do?
Yeah, I messed up. I've gone with quite a dark base coat for my skin, and I wish I'd just gone light and then a wash.
Yeah, I've gone with the Vallejo sunny tone. There's a sunny tone they do, which is quite a nice colour. I use it a lot on a lot of different minis. I've gone with that. I did go with my usual Zenful undercoat, which is all black. Then from a 90-degree angle, I do grey, and then from above, I do white, to try and kind of get some pre-shading done on them as such. It kind of worked, but I had to do a bit more white on them.
I started doing that, and then when I started painting them, I realised I was just painting over it all. So I was like, I don't know why I'm doing this. I'm just wasting loads of sprays.
I'm actually starting to wonder myself, because I don't know how much has really come through, because I don't thin my paints anywhere near as much as some people.
Yeah, I think that's my issue as well. None of this 2 thin coat stuff. 1 thick coat does the job.
Yeah,
I'm a terrible hobbyist. No one ever asked me for hobby advice, because I'm not the one to give it.
Me neither.
That's not the point of these hangouts and shows. This is just for us to get together, chat, talk about stuff, and try and get some hobby done, because otherwise it doesn't get done.
Yeah, we try and chat about the game at the same time, and before you know it, you've painted 45 spears rather than just sitting here painting 45 spears. It's actually a really good way of making the time fly when you do these sort of jobs as well. If people
or you do what I do and just get massively distracted.
Yeah, which is good as
which
well
is fine.
because
Which is also fine.
when you're getting distracted, I'm actually painting, which is always good. No, 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 it's yeah, I'm not. I'm certainly nobody for advice on painting figures because my figures, well, they're functional. Let's put them that way.
That's it. Mine, hopefully, and I say hopefully, look all right if I've got a load of them on the table next to each other. I've ordered some basing gear from Luke's APS.
I need to do that. It's a good point, actually. I was thinking myself.
It hasn't rocked up yet though, but because it's bank holiday, I ordered it just for the bank holiday weekend, which was a mistake. Should have ordered it beginning of the week. So it's on its way. It's
Yeah, he's a top guy. He's got some good Mediterranean mixes, hasn't he?
yeah. I met him at Salute as well. And,
yeah, he's a top bloke, actually.
had a quick chat. I was chatting to him as if I knew him, and I think he just went along with. I think he was just nice enough to just be like, yeah, of course, yeah, as if he knew. He was pretending to know me back, and he had no idea. Bless him.
He does that. He does that with most people. He does that with me as well. For honest with you, I chatted to him, and then I started messaging him when I was going to Leeds and saying, "Where's the good pubs in Leeds?" So which in all right, he should have just ignored, but he actually gave me some good advice on where to go drinking, so that was good as well.
Nice.
So top bloke, best description.
Yeah, he does seem like a nice guy. Who else did I see? What else did I see at Salute? I didn't really see a lot because I was chatting to like people on the stand and stuff. I saw Terrain Tutor.
Yeah.
I didn't really have a chance to chat to him because he was busy filming stuff. But I did chat to his partner in crime for his new book, Dave Taylor. Is it Dave Taylor? That rings a bell. Nice chat. I saw a few other people. Some of the Warlord guys came over and had a chat. Some of the ones that I know, Rich Carlisle and whatnot. Saw my fellow film star, Mr. Chris Nichols from Macrocosm.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's broken his foot.
Oh.
Oh no, that's not what. No, what's he done? He's broken something in his leg. He was in a wheelchair, but he could also sort of hold around. But yeah, he almost wasn't there. But yeah, it was good. It's nice going to these things, and I haven't been to Salute in a couple of years, so.
No, I was a bit naughty. I do apologise for not being there, buddy.
Yeah, you should be.
Yeah, well, unfortunately, my holidays got moved up here in the frozen north. I decided to make Easter a very strange time, Easter holidays for the kids, so I had to move my boat holiday to a different week, which means I couldn't do Salute.
I need to borrow your boat.
Yeah, me boating to Stoke was far more important. Yeah, well, the whole point was the whole thing was kibosh, wasn't it? Because that Easter holiday, I was meant to be chugging down to Nottingham on the boat.
Yeah.
To Warhammer.
We should do that actually.
Yeah, we should.
I'll come up to you and then we'll boat down.
Boat down to that's actually really clever. Right? That's a really good idea. But saying that, it's whether we get there with all the pubs along the way.
Where are you? Well, we're still in Durham. We haven't made it very far.
Well, you'd have to go that far up. Actually, it's
that's true. Actually, it's further down.
Yeah, it's over in Cheshire, Shropshire. So
I have a question.
Yeah.
Actually, I was discussing this with someone at work the other day. I was actually talking about your work.
Right.
Your canal boat.
Yeah.
Right. Is it stuck in the same canal? Can you only ever go up and down one canal?
Not at all. No.
How do you get to different canals?
This is a massive tangent. This one, isn't it?
It's a good one. Sod the game. We're talking about boats now.
Yeah, sod Mortal Gobs for 5 minutes. Let's talk about this. Right. So, back in the midst of time, back in the beginning of the Industrial Revolution, lots of very clever people decided that they had to connect different cities by canals, right? So the canal network in Britain
I
is
mean, that
also
was sort
connected
of
to rivers as well. But all the canals are, well, apart from one or two, which are still open, are all mostly connected together. So I can travel from where the boat is now. I can travel all the way up to Ripon in North Yorkshire, or to Lancaster up there, in Lancashire, obviously, because that's where Lancaster is.
no.
Or I can travel all the way down to the Thames and down into Kenton Avon, to Devizes and places like that as well, further down. So I can travel all of those places, all over and everywhere in between. You can travel unbelievable places, really, all over the place, to Oxford, and all on the same canal network. You're not stuck in one place. It's not like the Norfolk Broads where you only can go to certain places. It's actually all connected up. And it's all to do with the Industrial Revolution and transporting goods. It takes a while to get there. I mean, from where the boat is now, it takes, well, let's say to get to London, it would take to get to Brentford, where I look at it because my head office for work's there. It takes 15 days to get there from where the boat is.
Nice.
My boat, but that's traveling 8 hours every day, kind of down the country. But yeah, you can basically go anywhere you like. So you can get to Nottingham, you can get to Leicester. Birmingham's a huge sort of centre for it all, because Birmingham's like nearly, well, anything going south really from where we are has to go through Birmingham to get there.
Yeah.
And there's different width canals. So some canals are wider than others in locks and things, so they can take bigger boats and stuff like that. But yeah, it's the boat, the narrow boat, which I use, is you can basically go anywhere you want. If you've got the time, you can go. So my big plan is to.
How close could you get to me?
I don't know off the top of my head. Let's have a quick look. 2 seconds. So you're whereabouts are you again? Portsmouth, aren't you?
Plymouth.
I love doing that to you. I love doing that to you every time. Doesn't matter to you anyway, because you're an Exeter fan, aren't you? So it doesn't matter
Yeah, I am. Nickname of the Exeter football team?
Sorry. No, I don't know. Sorry.
Grecians.
That's a bit mean. Grecians. Look at you. Oh.
No idea why, actually.
Look what up, mate.
But our mascot is a hoplite, so.
There's a canal in Devon, under 2 miles long, from a quarry. Yeah, but that's not what I'm looking for. It's a canal in that one. Here we are. There we go.
I mean, Exeter has a canal.
Yeah, exactly. A lot of places have them, but we're not used anymore. They're unnavigable or whatever nowadays. But
Well, I don't think I've ever seen a canal boat on it.
Probably, realistically, to you,
bugger.
what have you just dropped?
Hoplite.
Oh dear, not a metal one, I hope.
No. Not painting the metal ones tonight.
Well, realistically, Kenton Avon's the lowest canal we've got. So you're still talking a bit off you, really. Bath and Reading and places like that.
Bath. I mean, Bath's not that difficult to get to.
Yeah. But yeah. If I'm honest, it's like, yeah. I mean, get down the River Severn to Gloucester, a bit further down than that. Sharpness, I think, is when you get to there. Where you are, it's a bit further, quite a lump further down. There's not an awful lot down there, mate. God, you are a long way down, aren't you? Bloody hell.
About as far as you can get, mate. Without counting Cornwall, because Cornwall's a shithole.
You can't just generalise like that, bud.
I've lived there, so yes, I can.
Yeah, they're close. Yeah, so it's a long way off, really, if I'm honest. But yeah, basically you can get you're not stuck on one little bit of canal. You can get, unless you're on the Brecon Canal, which is actually one of the ones which isn't connected to anything else, and that's the only bit you can go on. But we digress anyway.
Yeah, it was a digression, but it was a conversation at work. So now I can go back into work tomorrow and be like, I know I've learned stuff.
Yeah, exactly.
Except she's not in work tomorrow, so I'll have to wait till Wednesday.
Yep. But yeah, so as long as you can remember that to Wednesday, you're all right.
Yeah, it depends how much wine I get through.
Exactly. You're probably forgetting by tomorrow. So yeah. Optimism. I appreciate optimism. Yeah. But it's quite. I should take my soldiers and paint them on the boat, really. But I'm usually quite busy, so I don't get a chance to, really.
Well, you've got kids to steer, so surely you can get some painting done.
That's not bad. Well, actually, yeah, I suppose that is an option. Yeah, it was. We went to Stratford upon Avon year before last on it, on the River Avon, which is beautiful. But yeah. Anyway, Mortal Gods. So I've heard that he's doing some resin Thracians. Is that right? Thracians. He's got the cards and stuff coming out.
Yeah. As far as I know, a lot of the stuff. I mean, I've seen the resin Persians. They're very nice.
Mm-hmm.
They were absolute. I actually was going to buy some. I completely forgot in the end.
I like the Thracians. I like that idea. Because they were quite different. Thrace was quite a different culture to the rest of Greece.
Well, yeah, it's a bit outside of like the sort of the city states. I know me and Jez, again, back in very early days, were coming up with some Thracian cards and some stats and stuff. So it'd be interesting to see how much of that survives through into the newer version.
Yeah. Yeah, because I think there's a wealth of stuff to do with this. I mean,
yeah, it's definitely got a lot of options.
I mean, you look what if you compare it to the other kind of product that Footsore doing with Gangs of Rome.
Gangs of Rome, yeah.
That, I mean, there's always kind of new stuff coming out for that, and
yeah, because there is, although it's a bit more restrictive in terms of its setting is this is where it's set. You've got a lot to add to it with like the special characters and stuff. So yeah, they're definitely similar, if not more, with this.
A game I do have to buy as well, actually, strangely. I do have to get myself into that. I said I would have to Mortal Gods, didn't I? I said I'd get myself away and I'd look into starting that one. So I think I will. I think I'll get myself a starter set.
Yeah, the new one's lovely. The Bread and Circuses set.
Yeah.
I do like what they're doing with that, sort of making a start set, selling out of it, and then sort of making a different one.
Yeah, I like that.
Because I got the last set. I
suppose it adds a bit of life to people buying start sets as well, who have already got start sets. So
yeah, exactly. Because I mean, I'm very tempted to get this one as well, mainly for the lovely Sarissa bakery that you get in it. But and I don't know if it's something we're going to see with Mortal Gods as well. If he'll really sort of not. That's what I'd like to see. Well, no, maybe not. I was thinking of like sort of. You could do like little faction sets. So like obviously like they've got the Athenians and Spartans set. You could do like Athenian versus Spartans and have like a few models and maybe like a piece of scenery and stuff. But actually, I'm not sure that works for this game. But
yeah, the model here seems to be a bit more. I mean, I know we said kind of it is its own game and it is different, but the model here does seem to be a bit more testimony in its kind of.
Yeah, I know it. I know
the
faction,
like the faction sets seem to be a bit more, and obviously unique cards and unique abilities with those factions.
Yes, it's certainly encouraging you to pick a one of the cities and play it. I mean, Jez is playing his mercenaries.
Yeah, he was telling me that. Yeah.
So whether we'll see some sort of mercenary specific cards down the line, I think we will. That's not me knowing that, by the way. That's just me guessing.
But yeah, you'd expect that.
It would be nice to see that down the line. And all the different, and some of the smaller cities and stuff as well, they'll all be getting stuff.
Yeah.
Whether it's a full box set like the Spartans and that got, who knows?
I mean, just heroes. I think just sort of give you some heroes and some extra cards for those units would be useful, because end of the day, I'm not trying to dumb it down, but in reality, hoplite's a hoplite, isn't he? Really, in reality, I mean, there's not an awful lot of variation.
And I think with a lot of with the Greek armor and stuff as well, it was all very similar.
Well, they all fought in a very similar style and had a kind of similar way of going about things. So it was kind of, yeah, but they're in the wrong pile. I thought I'd done all my unarmored hoplites and I realised I hadn't, because I had 2 mixed in with my peltasts. Stupid boy.
Oh, peltasts. I don't know if I've got any built up here. I must have.
Have you not? I have.
I mean, I definitely have. That is a total lie. I've got.
You got the shield stuff on them.
Peltasts? No.
Shh.
Nah, see, these haven't got shields on.
Yeah. No, I'm gonna get some javelin guys as well, I think.
Ooh, something just
and some archers.
Something just fell off one of these. I don't know what it was.
Because for those uninitiated in Mortal God so far, there is a difference between peltast and javelins.
Yeah, one of them I came up with the rules for, and one of them someone else did.
There you go. There's a difference. No, historic. Yeah, I mean, but also the fact that the peltast was a javelin man with a shield, because the shield came about with contact with the Thracians, as anybody knows that. And basically, they realised that the javelin man could last longer skirmishing if he had a shield. So yeah, but you give him a shield.
I don't have any peltists. I've got slingers.
Yeah, but you have. Yeah, more archers than any of the fifth as well. I noticed as well. You were trying to go for as well, but yeah, naughty lad.
I thought I had
you must have in that starter set. You've got.
In the starter set I owe, but I haven't built any of those, have I? This is just all the stuff that I had built for the playtesting.
You might not have any then.
Maybe not. I got a musician.
Maybe. Ooh, yeah. I've got my that guy I sat on yesterday has become a musician. Actually, he's had to get a trumpet because I didn't want to break into another sprue. Oh, my OCD is getting far worse, by the way. I didn't want to break into a new sprue, so I didn't have any more arms and spears left, and because I broke his spear under my rather large house, I left him there. But yeah. I've built everything from the starter set, basically, and I had a pile of Redendra, if that's the right way to pronounce it. I'll pronounce it wrong. Bases, plastic bases. So I thought
you mean Renardra?
That's the ones. Yeah, I can never pronounce them. I don't know what.
I actually don't know if that's correct. By the way,
I don't know either.
That's what I've always called it.
I'm sure somebody can correct me somewhere. Anyway, I what do you call them? I had a pile of bases left over, round ones, 25 mil. So I thought I'll go I'll build as many hoplites as I can for those bases.
That's fair enough.
But then had an odd number. So I had to route around my box for one more MDF or plastic base room of matching size. So that's my, just again, as always, kicking in with the OCD.
Oh, keep chatting a minute. I'll be back in a second.
Where you going, like? Yeah, so these chaps are coming together quite nicely. I think my plan's been to do a single thing on all of them per night because I have to batch paint. This is the way I do it, just to see progress. So I started them the other day with undercoat one day. Next day I did tunics. The day after that I've done skin. And tonight I am doing all the wood and leather parts. And then tomorrow night I'm probably not going to do anything because I'm out playing. It's a club night tomorrow night. And then Wednesday I should be doing all the bronze armor, and then so on and so forth as I go forward. So I think I should be finished by this weekend, I'm hoping, and then ready for playing.
Then we can play some D&D.
Yeah, I do want to play some D&D.
Don't worry, we'll start listening. So this is what I bought for the play test. I overdid it.
Yeah.
So firstly, I bought this box because this is what I was told this would give me enough to
that gives you 48 Greek. Oh no, that's the unarmored ones, isn't it? And the archers.
This is 56 Greeks. Yeah. Annoying, right? So I thought it'd be like half archers, half hoplites. No. It's 48 hoplites and 8 archers.
That's a bit. Yeah, I did wonder how they did that because I've noticed the sprues say. Yeah, it's a bit of a.
I believe. I've still got a couple of archers on there.
They do sell a booster pack of archers.
Yeah, they do. I think I must have. I sent Jez some stuff, but I think. Well, did I? I'm not sure if I did in the end, actually. Saying that. I've still got 4 archers in there, so I'll build those at some point because I've only got 4 archers built at the moment. So that was the first set I bought. And I was like, right, that will give me enough to get playing. But then I thought, hang on a minute, I don't want to play just normal Greeks because who wants to play normal Greeks? So then I bought the Spartan box set.
Yeah, which are armored Greek.
And that
sprues, aren't they?
That's 48.
Yeah.
Another 48 hoplites, basically. I haven't built very many of them. I've still got a ton of them in here. The one thing I'd say about this one is their heads suddenly seem a lot bigger.
You reckon?
Yeah. The heads on these ones definitely grew in size.
I think Vitrix must have gone through a process because I found the molds, the actual miniatures, the sculpts, a lot sharper in the hoplites than on the other ones, which are a little bit. No, I wouldn't say blurry, but they're not quite as sharp as hoplite ones, which are very, very lovely. But at the same time, I think they're both fantastic. It
looks like I've still got 4 untouched sprues out of this. So which means I've. Hey, wait. 4 times.
8 per sprue.
Yeah.
Yeah, so you should. Yeah, you've got 32 left in the box. Yeah. Yeah. So I had a similar thing where I got the Athenian version of those Spartans. That's what I had milling around. So I had 48 hoplites. I started to build them for something else a long time ago. Put them to one side. Did a little bit of play testing with them with that original rule set.
Yeah.
Just playing around a bit, using test-of-honor bits really, but the actual I've actually used them now to build instead of the mercenary ones that come in the box, because in the starter set you get two sprues of mercenary hoplites, which are the generic hoplites with different heads. The main difference in the sprues between Athenians, Spartans, Thebans, and Spartans, Thebans, and the mercenary ones, the 4 different choices you have in Victrix, is actually the head choices mainly. So basically, you are getting the same Greeks, just different heads. And I liked the Athenian heads more, so I've carried on using those. Plus, I kind of already broken into some of those sprues, so I just decided to use those ones. So I've actually got a mercenary ones left over and 1 Athenian sprue left. So if you wanted some variation, give us a shout. I'll send some down to you.
Likewise.
Exactly.
So that wasn't all though, because apparently, and I've just literally looked at my box and I was like, I'm sure I had some peltists. What was I thinking?
You got the peltists.
What the hell was I thinking? I've got 150. I've got 150 odd Greeks plus the Mortal Gods box plus the Spartan box. I'm going to have the Spartan 300 soon.
Well, I was actually trying to wonder if you were starting to play Hill Caesar instead, and you do realise this is a skirmish game. You didn't have to buy, I mean.
The thing is, I'm pretty sure I bought these to share with Jez, and I'm not sure I ever sent him any.
Right.
No, actually, I've got a feeling I did send him some of these. Hang on, let me have a look. Let me have a look in here. I'm sure. Me and Jez swapped some models. Yeah, this box looks quite empty actually. So, right, I've still got 4 slingers on sprue. And I've got 3 sprues of peltists.
Right. The peltists double as javelins as well, don't they? They do both.
They've got the option of
little bucklers or the half moon.
Yeah. So, what do you get in this box? You get 48 peltists and 8 slingers.
Probably looking at, you don't actually need to do anything at all with the stuff in the starter set then.
Essentially, no. I've got everything I literally already had enough. The only thing I didn't have, and you'll be shocked, I know, I don't have something. I don't have any cavalry.
I've seen that on the Facebook group that he's put his first thing out about cavalry.
I mean, that isn't the first thing. That's just the first public thing.
All right. I'm not privy to the special list.
No, I know. But again, that is different to what we were originally sort of looking at. So yeah,
I might have to get some cav. I'm quite fortunate. It was I can order online, obviously, from Victrix directly or off Amazon or whatever. But actually, one of my local shops actually stocks Victrix stuff as well. So I can
just I need to be careful with what I spend now. So I just put in like a 240 quid order with my local store, but that was for other stuff.
Other systems we don't talk about.
No, actually, to be fair, we do talk about them. Lord of the Rings and Underworld.
I've got to say, your love of Lord of the Rings is quite. You do have an awful lot of. You've really stuck at that, haven't you? It's one of the things I've noticed.
It's a great system. I've played it since it first came out. I mean, there was a big gap where I wasn't playing it, but I played it since it first came out. I've always had the rules, and I've always had models somewhere in a box. I've obviously picked up a lot more recently, and it's a very good game. And I've got a tournament on the 11th. And I'm playing something very different than what I normally play. So that will be very interesting. And I will lose badly, but it'll be fun. Just like when I said taking the 2 worst warbands in Underworlds for our latest league would be fun. It's really fun getting stomped every game. Fun.
It's a learning experience for you, because after taking a wielding crusader tank against me in a tournament, I've got to say I've got no sympathy for you whatsoever.
Yeah, it's so our Underworlds League has a lot of new players, so I thought I'd play something very uncompetitive, just not to give them a chance. They're actually some very good players, but just for me to play something different before I move on to the new warbands when they come out. So I thought I'd play the ones that I'd played not the least, but had the least success with. So it's horrible. It's a horrible experience losing every game so far. Although I haven't actually played any of the newbies yet. I've only played the experienced players. So, and one of them's my mate Pat, who's probably the best player in our club. I beat him in the final of one of the events, but he's won 2 since. So he's 2 trophies to 1 up.
You play that a lot, don't you?
Do you know what? I'm a bit burnt out by it, to be fair.
Yeah, you've been playing a lot recently. Every time I speak to you, you seem to be playing that. So
yeah, it's like I play it every week because I can. Like this is my issue. It's because I can get a game of it every week. I will.
Yeah,
because I'd rather be playing something than nothing. But I have to admit, we've done a league, then a tournament, then a league, and this second league, I know I took the 2 warbands that I did just for fun, but I'm lacking the energy to get to the games at the moment. 1, because I know I'll lose, and 2, because I've just overplayed it a little bit. But I played Age of Sigmar the other night, and that broke up the monotony a bit, which was quite fun. So. And I played, obviously, when I played some Lord of the Rings. So I just got to keep varying it. And obviously, I've played some Test of Honor and some Mortal Gods. I haven't actually played any Mortal Gods since the Star Set came. I've only still played test games, but I will be getting some games in soon, which is why I'm getting this painted up so I can play you and Chris, other Chris, just to get things confusing. Yeah.
I'm the same. There's going to be an event, I think, a Mortal Gods one at a local shop in May. So
nice.
I've got a bit of a deadline to get there and do it. So
May's not very far away.
Yeah, I should be there by then. Shouldn't be too far off. These lads will all be done by then, easy.
Oh yeah, you're cracking them quite well. I mean, I've got. How many points have I got? I want out of interest, how many points have I got painted up here? Let me have a look at the cards. Where's the Spartan cards? Oh, there they are. I need to get about 200 cards loose for this game. Probably more, actually.
I was just thinking that. Are they the same size as the last lot, the Trust of Honor cards?
I believe so.
They get the same card sleeves, because that was I got the fancy flight ones.
Oh, they're expensive. Why are you buying those?
They weren't expensive. Weren't badly priced on Amazon.
Just get the Ultra Pro ones, like a couple of quid for like 100.
If send me a link.
Yeah.
I don't know anything about cards.
No, I tend to actually. I'm saying this like I don't spend stupid amounts on the actual official Underworld's card sleeves that are actually really poor quality, but they look cool, so I keep buying them. What's that? What's the gift? There it is. So my boss is 75 points.
Yeah, underling's 50 points, I think, isn't he?
Well, I've got 2 underlings.
Oh, right. So that's another 100.
Not painted, but I've got 2. So hang on, there's one. So he's 45. Oh wait, hang on. There's different armed ones, isn't there? Where's the other one? Maybe there isn't. Not in the Spartan cards. Hang on.
Might be a standard card.
Yeah,
there's definitely. I think there's 50 and a 45 point one. There's a 45, which is an unarmored underling.
Yeah, I've got more cards over here. Spartan. There we go. 50 points.
Yeah.
Right. So I've got the option. I could have one of each, I suppose. I have one that's slightly faster. One that's. So I could have the special character and the two sidekicks. That would be 95, so 170 points. Mm-hmm. And then currently I've got 3 unarmored Actually, I think one of them is armored. Yeah, I suppose we'll use that guy and that guy. That guy is unarmored. So I've got nine unarmored and 3 armored guys being painted. So looking at it, I could count those as the armored ones. I count as a Spartan Crypteer, which is 58 points, and then I could have 3 units of Spartan Hoplites, which are 38. I hope you're doing the math because I'm not.
I wasn't. I've forgotten.
Hang on. So we got 75, add 45, add 50, add 58, add 38, add 38, add 38. Okay, I'm at 342 points already. That's without the archers. I don't actually know if there is Spartan archers, specific ones.
Don't think there will be. I don't think there'll be Spartan archers.
No, I don't think there will be either. Oh, I could have armored Spartan. Oh, wait, the ones I've literally just said they're unarmored. Who's this guy? Trained from birth. Pretty sure that was me that came up with that name as well. Oh, I've got the Helots, which are the slingers. Oh, actually, no, they're not. The Helots are just the unarmored slaves, basically. They're very cheap, though.
Yeah, but they are what they are. They're levy, aren't they, as such?
They're essentially levy. There isn't actually specific Spartan archers. There are specific Spartan peltists. Then why am I painting archers?
Because the archers are in a standard set. You can
obviously I can ally them in. Yeah, it's fine.
You can match cards.
But yeah, I'll build up some peltists next, I think, so I can use these. But essentially, with the archers there, I've got about 400 points, probably almost. Because obviously, once you start adding in the gifts and stuff as well, then it very quickly spirals out like a drop.
I think I totaled up the starter set, which comes with, if you half it, you get 3 slingers, 4 unarmored hoplites, 4 peltasts, and you get 9. I think I worked out as you get 2 heroes and
2 sidekicks.
Oh, sorry, yeah, you get one boss, and I think I worked it as 1 sidekick, and then the rest is obviously just as normal hoplites.
Yeah.
I think it was 340 points per side, so you're getting 600 points in the box anyway.
Yeah, so you get almost 700.
Yeah, that's about, as you say, about gifts and things, which I need to learn about. But yeah, with the fact I've done a load more hoplites in that I've got 3, 6, 9, 12, 15, 18, 21, 24, 27, 30, 35 extra hoplite. I've got 35 hoplites. Okay,
so your gifts, which are in the set, there's, I can't remember how many, I think there's 30 odd, are benefits you can give to certain cards. It'll tell you who you can give them to. And they're generally like a 1-use bonus.
Right.
Some of them are consistent ones. Mainly the hero ones are consistent ones. But some of the ones you give to your units are just like a 1-use, use this, then discard it. And they normally cost about 5 points each. Some are a bit more expensive.
Oh, so it's a bit of a buff for your units. Okay.
Yeah. So this one, for example, this affects a companion. So it says it's called Weapons Master. It's 5 points. It's countless hours of practice pay off for this warrior. As part of their action, the bearer receives a free follow-up action as if they scored a critical damage. Discard after use. So basically, it says you basically get a free crit. So you do your damage, then you can play that. You can discard this to get basic counts that you critted, and then you get another attack. Awesome. Another one. Let's find one for just a regular schmo. Here we go. This one's called Medusa's Head. It's 10 points, this one. With but a glance, foes are rooted to the spot as if turned to stone. As part of their action, the bearer may choose any enemy warriors within 6 inches. They cannot move this turn. Discard when used.
Nice. I like that. But it makes more sense now. Right. Yeah. I don't think I've got to get really into it.
Yeah, I don't think you'll be using lots of these per game, but it's nice to have the option if you end up with 5 or 10 points spare and you just can't quite get a whole unit in. You just stick one of these in.
It makes each game a little bit more unique as well, doesn't it? So
yeah, exactly, and it just helps with army building and variety and stuff as well.
That is variety. I mean, what you're saying is basically you could play it when a bunch of boring Greek hoplites kind of walking towards each other to fight, but actually with those cards, you've added a lot of variety into your list.
You're just spicing it up, yeah. This one's quite a good one. This is for your hero. The Oracle's Will. The Will of Delphi guides you to success. As part of their action, the bearer may look at their next 3 omen cards and rearrange them in any order, then discard this card.
Ooh. Yeah, right.
So the omen cards are like the fate cards from Test of Honor, for those of you that play Test of Honor. And basically, when you draw a fate token, I'm getting confused now. Basically, when you draw a fate token at some point, I can't remember if it's just the 3rd one, you draw an omen. Which, if you played Test of Honor, when you draw in cards, it's normally a good thing because you get bonuses for your hero and stuff. These aren't always good. So there's about 30 odd omens. So I need to double check the rules because it's changed since playtesting and stuff. But so some of these are good, some of these aren't good, and generally it might affect both players, or it can affect both players, I believe. So let's say we draw this one. Right. So this omen comes out after the storm. The storm clears and everything is not as it once seemed. Each player immediately moves 1 enemy up to 6 inches in any direction. So you can choose one of your opponent's models or units and just move them.
Wow.
And both players get to do that, so it's fair for both players. Let's pick another one. Let's just shuffle them up randomly and draw one. Okay, Servant of Hades. Sworn to Hades, so this is just for the player that drew it. Sworn to Hades, your Lucagus fights with the Fury of the Damned. He can reroll 1 attack dice, discard this omen when used. So this is almost like drawing a gift card. And it's got a cool Cerberus in there.
Like that.
Eagle's Feather. High above the battlefield, an eagle loses a feather which spins to the ground. Reroll 1 failed die from all ranged attacks while this omen is in play.
Ooh.
And that just affects your warriors. So again, whichever player drew it. So some of them are good, some of them are bad. Again, keeps the game varied a bit. You've got your injury cards in there as well. I think there's only 5 injury cards in this. I've just shuffled my injury cards in with my omen cards, but oh well. Yeah, so that is another little look at part of the game that you might not see otherwise.
We'll have to get some kind of game on here, won't we, at some point?
Yeah, like I said, you and Chris need to sort yourselves out when you can come and spend a weekend here. Obviously, Chris can pop down whenever, really, but
it's a bit more of a logistics thing.
Bit of a track for yourself.
Worth it, mate? Worth it? I'll start something out.
You should do it. Try and do it in the summer because we've got some lovely pubs nearby that worth visiting, especially when it's sunny.
Spot on. I shall sort that out. But yeah, I think I'm gonna have convinced the wife we should go to Partisan in a couple of weeks' time. So hoping you and Chris might get up for that as well, which would be cool.
Yeah, I know Chris is going, so it will be a case of what his actual plans are, whether he's going up with his family or whether he's going up with Guy.
Yes.
If he's going up with Guy, I will probably be tagging along.
If you can get somewhere near, mate, I'm always willing to pick you up as well, somewhere along the line.
Yeah, it's probably not. It's probably slightly. I'd probably be going further to get to.
Yeah, but as in, I'll come a bit further down and we can come back up a little bit if we have to or something, maybe. But
yeah,
I'll see what Annette wants to do. But I say if you can get a lift up, even all the better. Like so.
Yeah, it depends if he's doing it because I think if he plans on doing it all in one, because I've got work, so it depends if he plans on doing it all in one day, really.
Yeah.
But
cool. But yeah, I want to get to that one because it's obviously probably one of the bigger ones after Salute, isn't it? So
yeah, and I'm going to UK Gamers Expo as well. So
I've often wondered about that. Have you been before?
I have.
Is it good?
No, I think I've only ever been as an exhibitor.
All right.
Thinking about it.
Is it worth going?
I've always very much enjoyed it, but that was more from the board game aspect of it rather than miniatures games.
Yeah.
But it is becoming more and more sort of a miniatures game show as well.
Yeah, I think so.
So, and there is a big Underworlds tournament on the Friday, so I'm going to play in that.
That's good.
But that will be me fully competitive playing, I think.
The gloves are off, man.
So I feel, I'm sorry to anyone I play.
Yeah.
Or maybe not, because I might get absolutely battered. But
fingers crossed. No, I mean, oh no.
What?
I don't mean that. I don't mean it.
Yeah, you do. Yeah, you do.
You beat me in every game. You beat me in every game we've ever played. Apart from that, I mean, yeah, it's fine.
No, you beat me in Test of Honor once.
I don't think I did I?
Yeah, you did. Practice game at yours.
Oh, yeah. Right. All right. Okay. No, I've got to. Yeah, these guys are coming together quite nicely. The armor. I need to start thinking about how I'm going to do this linen armor. Am I going to? Because I want it really like quite white with just very little details on. So I'm thinking.
Yeah. What's really confusing me is these hats on the archers.
Oh, the round ones. Yeah, they're kind of like sun hat types.
Yeah, I have no idea what kind of paint it is.
Hold on. 2 seconds. Is there a Cretan archer in my? I mean,
I'd rather a Spartan archer. I've actually. Oh, is that the Osprey one?
Yeah.
Yeah, I've got that one. I think
it's the ancient. It's the elite one. Ancient Greeks.
Maybe not. Actually, I've got. To be fair, Andy, bless him and all his wisdom, sent me a link to basically like the Dropbox link to all his Osprey books. And it was pretty impressive.
Yeah. I mean, the guy's there. I mean, look at that guy there. He's kind of got a beigey hat on.
To be fair, I was thinking beige.
But your guys are going to be Cretan archers, probably, or something like that. That's a very famous area that produced.
Yeah, I know. I made rules up for Cretan archers.
Yeah, for mercenary archers, and I'm pretty sure they actually wore red anyway. So it might be red hats as well. But It's worth having a maybe mooch around the internet.
No, I don't think I'll put red hats as well because there's too much red going on then.
I mean, so the red I'm using a lot of in other stuff, not in this, because I haven't done much red in this, is what's called cavalry brown.
I've got that.
It's a absolutely stunning red colour. If anybody ever wants to use a red colour,
There it is.
yeah, cavalry brown is, as much as it says brown on it, it comes out as the most gorgeous red. Did all my polls for Saga in the red and white guys.
I'm not convinced it does come out red.
Oh, I think
it's a reddy brown. I'll give you that.
Lovely dark. It's a lovely darkish.
I'm using burnt red.
All right, yeah. It's a bit,
which is a colour I quite enjoy painting with, but I'm running out. So I've also got black red, or I've got red.
Yeah.
But the red, I've got bloody red, which is quite a bright red.
Is that one of the game colour ones?
Yeah, it is, yeah. I've got the GW Mephiston red, which again is very red.
That's very red, yeah.
So I'm going to just need to buy some more burnt red, I think, because I'll use the Mephiston red or the bloody red as a highlight, but the burnt red, I think, is just the right red.
Yeah. It's I mean, I say I did all my Normans, a lot of my Norman gear in it as well. But I say that cavalry brown is, I suppose you're right. It isn't. It's more brown than it is red, I suppose. But it's just a lovely color. And when you wash it afterwards as well, it just comes out. It just has something about it which is.
I did try using a red wash on my guys, but it didn't quite come out very well.
No, I've tried washing in the past, and if I'm honest, I've bought a whole pile of Vallejo washes as well, thinking I'm going to start getting into doing washes on my guys rather than normal paints. But I've never really, like, as in spray them white and then just use loads of washes on them. But I don't know. I just don't think it really works. Not for me. I mean, I'm sure everybody else people could point me in the right direction. I've done some gear with it in the past, and it looks okay, but maybe it's my very simple mind. I'm almost, give me a pot of Umbral oil paint kind of thing, do my guys. But I'm a little bit more. I like to block colours. I like to do colours in blocks. I think I'm not much of a highlighter. I'm actually not much of a painter. Full stop. Really, I just do what I do. But I've also made this when I first got back into the hobby. I think I've told you about my history before of gaming. Was actually there's a little fact for you, factoid. First ever army that Chris ever owned was Greek hoplites.
Ooh.
In 15mm from Essex Miniatures, they were. And I played War Games Research Group 6th edition back in the day. And then I got into all the fantasy stuff and 40k stuff. Got into my Bretonians and all that gear. Started playing a lot of that. Played a bit of WAB, a bit of Warhammer Ancient Battles, but never really got back to my hoplites until I started doing these guys here.
And are you happy you are?
I love them. I love a Greek.
No comment.
Not needed.
I have to admit,
yeah.
the metals. I'm looking forward to painting the metals. The plastics, I'm always going to struggle with painting mass models, but when I sit down and paint the metals, I do enjoy it. But
yeah, I mean, I've had to really. I mean, as I say, what I'm doing here is I'm really batching these bad boys off just to get rid of them as such. Not as hot. That sounds quite like I don't enjoy it, but I don't actually mind painting as such. But I am really just trying to get them batched off to then get playing, because the vow I made when I got back into the hobby was I was never going to play with an unpainted miniature, and I've kind of stuck to that ever since.
You're quite good for that, to be fair. Do you know what? Actually, I'm getting better at it, but most of the minis I use have paint on them.
I just think to myself, and the reason I've stuck to it is because if I think if I don't stick to it, if I did play, then I'd probably slip into a kind of it's okay to do that. And at the end of the day, I've not got a problem with somebody turning up and playing unpainted miniatures. That's not my point. It's just me personally. It's nothing to do with anybody else. It's nothing to do with anybody else's preference on what they want to play or how they want to play. It's just purely how I like to do it, because for a while there I did back in the olden days when I used to play Warhammer Fantasy.
Yeah, I've always I can't remember the last time. Can't remember the last time I played. I'm just trying to think of the games I play currently of what I've played with fully painted. I've got, actually saying that, well, they're not based, to be fair. My 40k Death Guard army is basically fully painted, apart from a few bits that I picked up more recently, but I haven't ever used in a game yet. So, but the majority of it's fully painted, just not based. So, close enough. My Age of Sigmar stuff is a bit hit and miss. My Underworld stuff, the warbands I use regularly are painted, but the ones not so much are not. I did have a fully painted Saga Force, but I did sell that, unfortunately. There wasn't yet enough games in. But I'd never played a game of Saga with unpainted minis. Test of Honor, again, mostly I've played only painted games. In fact, probably all my games have been fully painted.
I think probably. I don't think I've ever seen you with an unpainted Test of Honor figure.
Yeah, especially now I've got Ian painting my models. It's even better.
Yeah.
I do need to send in the next batch, actually.
Did an awesome job on those last ones, by the way.
Oh, yeah, yes. I was going to buy a little case so that when we're sending miniatures to and from each other, they're protected. I might get him to end up doing my Mortal God stuff as well, to be fair. Burrows and Badgers, I intend to only ever play with painted miniatures.
Rightly so.
I've only got one painted so far. One's almost finished, or the second one's almost finished, and the third one's almost finished. The fourth one's just being started. And they are lovely minis. Just completely off topic now. It's the last few minutes.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I'm getting better at painting stuff. Lord of the Rings, again, I will test armies unpainted, but I will only play competitive games, or we're doing a Battle Companies League at the moment. I'll only use painted models for those. That's why I'm painting up my Aragorn at the moment. He's slowly getting there, because I plan on using him in the tournament on the 11th. So he's high up on the priority of getting painted at some point, or in the next couple of weeks. Which is the new. I noticed this. So I've played Lord of the Rings since it was released in 2002-ish, 2001. I don't know. I've never ever painted up the full Fellowship because I've never really used them. I've always been an evil player.
You've always been an evil player. I will agree with that.
Thought you might. And I was looking through some of my older models the other day. I sold a lot of them, sadly, a few years ago, but I still had quite a few lying around. Oh, excuse me. And apart from a Merry and Pippin in armor that I've got painted, an older Aragorn model that I had, not that old though, but just an older one, that I had very, very quickly painted just to test the old Army Painter Quick Dip.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. I literally splashed some colour on him and chucked him in the pot to see what would happen. No, I've never painted The Fellowship models. So I've got the newest Aragorn, the plastic one from the 300s set, which is a lovely model, and just going to spend a little bit of time on him, just trying to make him look reasonable. Got the base colours on him and the startings of some washes and stuff, but he's going to lead my force on the 11th. It's a total of 18 models, so there's no excuse that they're not painted.
Certainly not.
To be fair, he's the only one that isn't painted. Actually, all the rest are painted. I think my army is Aragorn, the King of the Dead, and 16 Warriors of the Dead.
Like it.
Nice and small, nice and elite. And I'll probably get battered because I'm not used to playing a force that small. So there you go. I'll let you know the results just so you can cheer on my opponents.
I wouldn't do that.
Really?
No. I would always want you to.
You'll just send gift baskets afterwards.
Where can I send any kind of donations? No, I'm not that bad.
He is bitter and old.
I'm not that, but yes, I am. That's a given. That is, mate. I wouldn't. Yeah, I think I'm. There's no two ways around that one. But no, I mean, I don't hold like grudges or anything. Honest, like forever. About tables only terrain on and having to face a freaking AA Crusader tank.
Mate, I was undefeated that tournament and still came like out of the top 3. So how do you think I feel? I only had one unit die the whole tournament, and that was in the final game. It was my light mortar team, and I still came like 4th or 5th.
Okay.
One of the worst run events I've ever seen in my life.
That's what spurred me on to start doing events, mate. Was that because
you were so inspired by how bad they could be? You knew you couldn't do a terrible job.
Well, yeah. I mean, I went to Kieran's.
No idea where I put these transfers.
Kieran's Big Ab.
Oh, mate, Kieran's
top event, which I'm gutted he doesn't do many more, and he doesn't.
He'll be back.
Early war bolt action event. Hint, Kieran, if you ever get a chance to listen to this.
I've only got my Desert Germans left.
Well, that's all right. They're early war. Yeah, I've tried. I've totally plagiarized his entire event pack. And I only run early war bolt action events mainly, just because his event was so fantastic, and then we went to the next one, which was so interesting. It was very, very good weekend in that you were there and Kieran was there, and
oh yeah, can't fault that.
And we got thrown out of Bugman's.
Oh yeah, we can fault that. Let's not go over that again.
No, I'm not going to go over it again. But yeah, we had an absolutely fantastic weekend. The guys from Germany came over. Chris King was there. James Kelly was over from Japan. Absolutely brilliant weekend.
Do miss James.
But the actual event was interesting in that one game was still being played by some, I can't think who was playing it now, and they started putting the terrain away.
Oh god.
The guys who the terrain it belonged to had come along and said, "We need to take the terrain back now. Sorry."
I'd forgotten about that.
Yeah. And it was just the fact. I mean, at the end of the day, anybody can have a bad event. Don't get me wrong. I'm not saying it can't happen to anybody. But was also, I mean, I always forget the guy's name from Scotland. He was at the gathering. I always forget his name. Absolutely useless with names. And he was saying at the time, you know what? We could have asked us. We've always brought our tables worth of terrain along. We've already brought a table like we did at the gathering when Kieran said, and that's what got me thinking that there's enough players in my area with enough terrain and gear
Yeah.
that we can run a very successful event just amongst ourselves, and I can ask them to bring the tables along, bring the table of terrain along, and we have some absolutely amazing tables, to the point where I've started to put on a prize, one of our fantastic Vital Ground mugs, of there's a table prize as well now, a scenario and table prize.
I don't have one of those, but I do have a best Axis general.
Yeah, you did well that one, mate.
To be fair, that was good. I was the first time I'd ever played as an Axis army as well.
It was a really good. I mean, and also we've done other ideas, but that's kind of why I've gone back to that as well. On a tangent, totally from Mortal Gods, but that's why I've gone back to the original kind of ethos of it all. Is that I liked those events. I like running them. I like looking after the guys and making sure everybody's okay. But
yeah, and you are good at running events as well.
Oh, thank you. Appreciate that. But I enjoy doing it. I enjoy it. And actually, as much as people say to me, "Oh, you should play," it's actually a lot easier to run it without playing it. I obviously have a backup army in case you need.
I very much enjoy running demo games and teaching people how to play.
Mm-hmm.
Events I leave to you and Kieran. Because,
again, yeah,
that's not my forte. But I'd always give it a go. But I'm definitely small. Give me a one-on-one teaching situation. That's where I feel like I do quite well at.
You do, mate. I mean, I had that. Well, again, it's back to Test of Honor. That time you came up for the event, we played Test of Honor. I was very much like, oh, I'm not that keen on Test of Honor. You played it, and it totally changed my entire
view of the game. I forgot you were a bit like, I'm not really enjoying it very much.
I wasn't. I don't know what was I didn't like about it. But once you were like, oh, you do this, this, and this, I was like, oh, it was just far, far better. And I had a.
I mean, I feel like, for whatever reason, and this isn't me blowing my own trumpet, this is generally feedback from other people, apart from you, because you hate playing me. But apparently I'm quite a good opponent.
You are. No, you are. I wouldn't say.
And I was very humbled when I went to that big Lord of the Rings tournament in Warhammer World that I got 5 out of 5 best opponent votes. Yeah. And that tournament was where it actually mattered, because it pushed me up from like bottom to 21st in the table.
We'll have to have that a podcast on that in the near future, actually, about tournaments and events, and trying to have a bit of a musing about that, because it'd be quite interesting to see what your views are on things like that. Because I like the idea of best themed army gets you extra points.
So it was interesting. So they did it. This was the Throne of Skulls. They do it for all their systems. So they sort of do the grand tournament, and then they also do the Throne of Skulls for each of their systems, I think. And the Throne of Skulls is very much the friendly tournament. Mm-hmm. So you get more points for best painted, or sort of best themed / painted, and best opponent. You get like 3 points per vote you get. So it can really push you right up the table, because I only won 1 game that weekend.
Right.
I think I won 1, drew 1, and lost 4, or whatever it was. Some very close games, and some fantastic games as well. But I was playing an army that I wasn't that familiar with, and I just thought I'd take it, for the fun of it. And it was, coming 21st out of 100 and something players, when I'd only won 1 game, I was like, oh, it's quite surprising. The only thing and again, this is me actually being like, I wanted an award, but there was only 3 people to have got 5 best opponent votes. Mm. And then normally, and this is just from other events from other systems that I've been to, they give it to the player that ranked the lowest.
Yes.
Which would have been me, just saying. They gave it to the player that ranked the highest. So the best sportsman was the highest ranked player that got the most votes, not in other systems where it's been like the lowest ranked player.
Yeah.
Normally on the theory that it's, harder to be happy when you're losing, if that makes sense.
Yes, and it's also, I mean, I'm not the grandest believer in wooden spoons, if I'm honest, but I like the idea of giving somebody a prize for like best themed army, or as you say,
and that's why when we set up this, and me and Kieran started sort of sponsoring events, we always wanted to sponsor the theme award.
Yeah.
We did it with one of Infamous's Blood Bowl tournaments. We basically sponsored an award that was basically the best background for your army or for your team. And I think we put in a Skaven team that had been painted by someone.
I think you did. I remember that, yeah. I remember you did.
Yeah, that was a while ago now. But I need to do more stuff like that, actually.
Well, September, I've got an event.
You're part of this crew now. You have to sponsor yourself.
Makes perfect sense. Yeah, I can do it.
But yeah, we need to get. I think eventually Warring States 3 is going to happen officially.
Oh, right, cool.
So yeah,
but that's going to be quite a narrative-based day, isn't it?
Yeah, don't expect that to be in Nottingham either. So
no, I think because there's what you call them, isn't there? There's a couple other places which I remember.
Yeah, well, it was meant to be in just outside of Brum, I think.
Yeah.
And obviously it didn't.
Yeah,
didn't quite happen, but I believe it will be at some point. So
sure it will. I'm sure I'll be tracking my way down with some kind of spammed up Ronin army of.
Well, actually, what me and Kieran were discussing was UK Games Expo.
Oh, right.
And actually running the event there.
Bloody hell.
As a yearly event.
Right.
Because I was looking at the games. It's weird, actually. So I was looking at the competitions, and it is mainly board game based. So it's the systems that have been sort of selling the most tickets are like X-Wing.
Oh yeah, I mean, crikey, look at that. It's a beast of a game, isn't it, for that kind of thing?
Well, yeah, it's all right. But I think there's something sold something like 200 tickets or something for the X-Wing tournament. The 40k tournament and the Age of Sigmar tournament has only sold about 10 tickets last time I looked.
Probably not. I say it won't be as well known, will it? I say from the point of view of the usual crowd who go to that kind of event.
But the Underworld tournament had almost sold out all 100 tickets.
Now that's very much a crossover system, isn't it? It's a very much a.
It is essentially a competitive board game. So yeah. But I am looking forward to competing in that, even though it's a full day thing, so I'll be knackered by the end of it.
Oh.
I don't know if I've ever competed in a 12-hour event.
Can you keep your concentration up for that long?
No. No, I can't. So, but me and my mate are going to get together and put together a horrible deck and just be like, right, this is it. It is going to be he's a very, very good Underworlds player, and he listens to all the podcasts and everything and looks up all the results. He's one of those ones that he'll look up all the results of the big tournaments and.
Got the meta, yeah.
The only trouble is we've got the 2 new warbands out this weekend coming, and that's about a month before the event, so that might change things up a little bit. So I may even use one of the new warbands. So we'll see.
Can you get enough data together to work out which one's the best, most optimum warband? That's
the issue. There are 2 at the moment, or maybe 3 that are can be very, very good, and there are a couple that are just very, very bad, unless there's sort of like one way of playing them. That's the only way of making them slightly competitive. And there's some that are just downright awful. But my mate's the one that will be like, right, we challenged him actually. He won the last tournament. The tournament before last he won, and he was playing a warband that he'd never played before. I didn't play in that one, so I'm just gonna give him. I'll give him the fact that I wasn't there. But because he won that one, someone basically said, if you win this tournament, you have to play the next tournament as one of the original factions, the Reavers.
Right.
Because general consensus is they're not that great. And he won it again. He took them on. He spent a lot of time building his deck and getting it very optimized. I almost beat him in our game, but I beat the second play. I came third in the end. I beat the person that came second in our first game, but he beat my mate in the final. But even basically the points, by the time we added it up, the final basically didn't matter. So it didn't matter who won. It was always going to be them first and second. Oh, no. Sorry, I could have come second. Sorry, that was it. I could have come second. But so if John had lost against Pat and I had won, which I did, then I would have come second and he would have come third. But he actually ended up beating Pat, which basically had very minimal impact on the final results because it just meant he was second and I was third, which we both got the same prizes for anyway. So which is actually a bit bad because I felt like they should have had like a playoff. Rather than, and I feel like this should be the normal for most tournaments. I feel like not for games like Bowl Action stuff, but just for this kind of event, I feel like it should have been like first and second play for the top spot.
Yeah.
Rather than being, oh well, the first has won it anyway, so actually you're just playing to keep second.
Yeah.
And even Pat, who won it, said, actually, I do feel like you probably should have taken the trophy at the end of it. Not that he gave it to him, but it was not. I think they do that at the Grand Clashes. I think it's 3 rounds, and then the top 2 basically play off, or 4 rounds, and then the top 2 play against each other for the final.
Yeah, it's how you run your event, isn't it? I mean, I've looked at different ways of doing it. Maybe he's having almost like a bit like how the Americans do a lot of their sporting events, where you have
sort of like playoffs at the end.
2 kind of like 2 divisions of equal players as such, and then you have, as you say, like a playoff final or a kind of playoff for first and second and third and fourth kind of thing.
Yeah.
But I've kind of always stuck with I've done Swiss in the past, which kind of works. I've kind of come out of Kieran's thinking of it's not enough games. You don't play enough games to make Swiss.
Yeah, again, it depends. It depends because I mean Swiss is the fair way of doing it, but it punishes. It can punish people that got lucky.
I mean, the other thing it does as well is it punishes people who got lucky, and also it can. I mean, it doesn't necessarily make people's days enjoyable sometimes. So what I've started to do is really, as I get the lists in, is look at who's brought what, and try and pair anti-tank lists with tank lists, or similar lists with each other, or similar armies, or try and pair. If say we had 3 or 4 DAC and 3 or 4 8th Army, Desert Army type armies, I'd play them. I make sure they all played each other, because you'd want that kind of theme happening on the table, and those armies should be relatively kind of similar. But yeah, it's there's different ways to do it. I think it also takes a lot of hassle out of the organisers as well if you've actually predefined the games beforehand as well. But again, that can also backfire on you as well. So it depends how you.
Yeah, obviously it's all how you manage it, but I think it's the events I've been to. I don't mind, to be fair, either way.
Yeah, I don't think there's any hard and fast rule on it. I think part of it is just making sure everybody has an enjoyable day. I've had one or two players who I don't think have enjoyed it as much, but I don't know if that's I think it's more their experience or what they expected rather than potentially the event itself. But I never really got a chance to speak to them about it either because. But I think
were they expecting something more competitive, or was that?
I don't know really. It was interesting that we had an event and there was I was about to give out a prize at the kind of end of it and they'd already left and gone home. So I kind of was like, oh right, but I never seen the guy since to just have a chat and say, basically, was there something which he felt was improvable or what? But yeah, I mean, talking of kind of pipe dreams and you on about future tournaments, I will be wanting to plug it on here at some point if I do get it off the ground. Is we have access to a Scout Adventure Centre up here in the north. The club has a regular Age of Sigmar event there and a 40k event, and it's residential, so they have bunks, a hall, and a kitchen. And what it means is you can have an entire weekend of gaming. So you go on a Friday, start on a Friday with your gaming, and you go home on a Sunday. And they do this for 40k and Age of Sigmar at the moment. But the guys have been saying to me, "What do you think about doing the bolt action one?" Where basically we can play sort of maybe it's a 500-point skirmish on a Friday, 750 point individual player on a Saturday, and a 1500, 600-point team game on a Sunday. So maybe have teams of players there who can we can have like a leaderboard of where people are as a team as well, kind of thing. Make it a bit more different, but it's in a whole weekend of.
See, I was chatting to a guy. I can't remember what I think it was my local show last year, and he was saying he was me and Chris were there, and he was saying he was doing like basically a weekend where you sort of camp out, and play World War II, and it's basically team games. So you said like you'd have half the players as Axis, half the players as allies, and there'd be like sort of like a games master, or he would be like a games master. So you're playing the games, and there might be two people playing a game of like Blood Red Skies.
Mm-hmm.
That had just come out at the time, I think. And like they were playing that, and then if one player's winning particularly, you might be able to call in like an aerial strike on the bolt action table. And that sort of thing. So I was sort of seriously looking into that actually. Something like that would be awesome.
Well, it truly would be a combined operations, wouldn't it? Tournament.
Especially now you've got Cruel Seas as well.
Cruel Seas, yeah. If you think about it, you could have a proper air, land, and sea.
I have to admit, although as much as I wasn't going to buy into Cruel Seas, I keep looking at the Italian fleet, and I'm like, oh, I kind of want that.
I knew you would.
It's not that I'm going to buy it. I'm not going to buy it. I'm not. Don't look at me like that, Chris. I'm not going to buy it.
I'm not even looking at anything. I'm not judging.
I can see. I know you're looking at your model, but I know.
I'm not judging. I'm not judging the system. Buying into a new system, I can't possibly do that. Sat here painting another system I said I wasn't going to get into. Well, I don't. No, actually, I didn't. Yeah, I mean, it's partially your fault, but also it's pretty cool to.
Well, I've rebought a system with Batman, so there you go.
Yeah, that. And now, I don't know who listens to us or anybody would ever listen to us, but I can't get away with it, man. Can't get away with it. Really struggle with the concept of superheroes as a war game. Just doesn't.
It's do you know what? This is what I was saying. Like with the Batman game, when it first came out, and I was playing it the first time around, it was very enjoyable because it was like you've got Batman, but like, he was pretty much the only superhero. Obviously, you've got it like Robin and stuff, and then the rest of it was like the supervillains and their gangs. But most of the time, most of the games that I played were like gang versus gang. Rather, no one was really playing as Batman, and that was really enjoyable. And then they started bringing out all the other heroes, and you can chuck like Superman into the game. It's not very believable when you shoot Superman out the sky.
That's my problem. It's not. I mean, for start, I'm not necessarily a huge follower of superhero-y stuff anyway. But it's also that kind of thing of, well, actually, believably, can you actually shoot Superman out the sky?
No, you can't. He's bulletproof, but he's not, because in the game it lets you do it.
Potentially.
Actually, I'm saying that out loud. I don't know if you can shoot Superman, but you can definitely shoot like Hawkman.
I bet you could with a Crusader right here. I bet you could shoot him with that.
I mean, I can shoot anything with that. But
you made me do that, haven't you? Look at that. I've stabbed him with some brown paint in the wrong place now. Oh, you sod.
I've done all right, actually. I've painted more than I thought I would tonight. I ended up chatting to you. I normally forget to paint stuff. But I've got all the weapons done. I've got all the bronze, well, the gold, the gold layer that's going to be bronze eventually done. So that's all right, actually. I'll tell you what, I'm going to take this offline because we've completely deviated from the original topic.
Well, we're going to talk about Mortal Gods. We have talked about Mortal Gods, but we've talked about everything else in between, haven't we? As well? So
half an hour or so, we've been talking about random stuff. So
random shit.
So anyone that watches this in the future, apologies for the last half an hour. It's not been about Mortal Gods at all.
No.
But spoiler, we talked about it at the start. So for the first 2 hours or so, hopefully you got insights into the game that we're now going to be playing. There will hopefully be battle reports coming soon.
Yeah.
If you look at the Three Swords podcast blog, me and Jez are writing up reviews of the game and of the expansions. So you can get on there, have a little look. We've got the army builder on the website. So if you want to play around with some armies, it's on the blog page. That's Three Swords podcast blog. It's on WordPress. Or just look on the Facebook group for Three Swords podcast. So we're doing everything through that blog because we can't bother to start another one. So that'll be Test of Honor and Mortal Gods news. As for a Mortal Gods podcast, me and Jez are talking about it. So that might happen, it might not. It's a bit up in the air at the moment. We can't really put it onto our Three Swords stream because we're using up most of our bandwidth with the Three Swords podcast.
Yeah, so, you gotta,
we'd have to either pay for more data, which isn't fair on Kieran because he's paying for it currently. And he's obviously not, he's still Test of Honor. He's not jumping on board with the Mortal Gods side of it. Or at least not yet. He might. So it's whether me and Jez set up something separately or we just keep it to a blog and maybe videos on here. So that might happen. But yeah, that's where we're at. So again, we got distracted like we normally do for the last 20, 30 minutes. Talking about events, there might be some Mortal Gods events coming. Chris might organise one.
I'd love to organise one.
Get some Greeks out. Get a big map campaign. Get a map of Greece, pin it to a wall, and we'll come fight over it.
That sounds like a good idea. Good narrative there. I need you and Jez for that one, man. I need your help for that one.
I mean, I think we'd probably both be up for it, to be fair.
I can definitely get us a hall. And we definitely have facilities and enough tables to play. So
I'll tell you what, you start supplying that. I've got some terrain. I've got some mats. I bought a new mat the other day, actually. First time in ages, I bought a new map. It's like I think it was the step map, so it's a bit
nice map. Yeah,
sort of nomady and bit. So
Mhm.
there's maybe some terrain. It's very nice.
He's a good man for that.
Yes, he's very good for that. Although he's cutting back on some of what he's doing now for terrain because he's not really making much money out of it. I think. So he's sort of keeping it to himself now. Although he's got to make me some Shadespire stuff, actually. I'll maybe give him a nudge about that. Yeah, so that would be something that would be very cool to organise.
Well, that's it. I'm happy to help out on that.
I mean, the only thing is everyone will turn up with Spartans and they'll all be fighting from one area.
No, we'll have to think about that, how we do that, but we could definitely do something with a recruitment element to it, an escalation recruitment element to it, and a something to do, something like that.
I'll tell you what, if you've got, do you know what would be cool if you had enough Greek players and enough like sort of Persian players?
Yeah, that would be interesting, wouldn't it? But even just the Greek states war. I mean, even if you had lots of Spartans, you got to remember that Sparta was only a city in.
Oh yeah, of course.
So there's plenty of option to have Spartan versus Spartan as such, because there's lots of city states within that even. So yeah, I think we could definitely do something. Maybe a little bit more, as you say. We think about doing a map. If we did something with a map, would be intriguing to see how we could do it. Maybe to have two sides, and then see how we could. One team could be trying to expand and against the other one or whatever. So
yeah, it'd be interesting to throw some ideas around and see what we come up with. Because
I threw some campaign ideas at Jez recently. I think similar ideas could work for this as well.
was that Saga, was it?
Yeah, it was the Saga one I think I showed you as well. But there's some ideas in there where we could think about it and think, how can we expand that to be mortal gods or whatever. So
yeah, I think that would work. I think it's a good setting for a game, to be fair.
there's a lot of I mean, particularly even just if you think about people just bringing the starter sets and the two kind of expansions.
That is the freaking joy of it. Like the starter set, you literally would never need to buy anything else if you just wanted to play.
There's so much about starter set.
Like, yes, obviously there's like some of the special characters like the healer and the seer. Again, not taking any credit for those, but me and Jez came up with those. Mostly Jez. I'll give Jez that. I think I came up with the seer idea. He came up with the rules. Other than they got changed. But anyway, you just get some archers or whatever. You can buy bloody like you said, the upgrade pack of archers. You're done. Don't buy the unarmored hoplite box just for archers like I did. Christ, you get 48 freaking hoplites. You don't need them. I promise you right now, you don't need 48 hoplites. You've got enough in the starter set. Just buy the upgrade pack. Because Jesus Christ, I can't believe I've got over 100. I've got over 200 Greeks.
That'd be think about what you're going to do with all them and see who.
Might just melt plastic down and make one giant Greek.
You probably could.
Since Jason and the Argonauts, that giant tin man, might just make him.
Just start swapping sprues for terrain with Jez.
He's got. The trouble is, he's got enough as well. Like me and him, we were buying the Victrix box sets before the game was even released. That's the trouble.
I'm telling you about yeah. So yeah, no, but no, I think it was I think back to the original subject is I think there's they've done themselves an absolute fantastic job with that starter set. So you can pick the starter set up, play it. You can then start tweaking your needs by buying extra miniatures from wherever you want to buy them from.
Yeah, exactly. I think look out for the faction boxes. I don't know. Should I say faction box? I'm assuming they're going to do more faction boxes. That again, that is not a promise. I do not know.
No, we don't know.
But
it would make
after
sense.
the Athenian and Spartan boxes, I can only imagine them doing those sort of boxes. Maybe with the Persians and stuff, where there isn't sort of plastics available, they might be sort of smaller, more unique boxes, or just maybe just more expensive, and you get three or four.
You got to think. I mean,
Yeah.
I think footsore Saga warbands, which is similar size, 60 quid or something around that mark, I believe. I can't think off the top of my head what they are. 60. Build your own warband, I think, is coming out. I think he sells. I think his minis come out at about. I think the cavalry come out at 12 quid for 3 or 4. I think it is 3. I can't remember what they are now. So you've got to think there'd be a similar price range, won't it? So you could think there'd be a Persian box set probably for a similar price kind of thing. I think if he does do that, I don't know. I have no idea. As I say, it's totally unofficial kind of conversation, but you've got to think it's going to be something similar to that, isn't it?
Hang on, Saga warbands. Let's just have a look at the pre-built ones.
Yeah.
Anywhere between 36 to 75 quid.
Yeah, the 36 one is generally the foot soldier one, where it's mostly foot soldiers.
Yes, yeah. You've got the war boss and 2 units of. No, wait, hang on. I forgot. Oh my god, I forgot how to play Saga. The war boss, two units of Hearthguard and 2 units of warriors. That's generally the sort of 36 quid-ish ones. Then
yeah, but no, that's So for people uninitiated, that's 16. Yeah, so that's 16. 8-man warrior units at 16. 4-man Hearthguard number 8. So that's 24, 25 minis approximately.
Yeah. Well, the warlock normally comes with a banner bearer, doesn't he?
It can do, yeah. So it could be 26
minis-ish.
So you think what you come with? You think the starter set comes with 40 minis?
That's their plastic.
Yeah, but what I'm saying is, though, that's 340 points. You can imagine the Persians will be approximately the same point range. So you're still talking 25 minis, probably about. So you're probably talking in that range of cash if it's all foot soldiers.
So the thing is, and this is coming from behind the scenes a little bit. A lot of the money a lot of the cost of the starter set and everything is actually the cards and the rulebook. So the cards are more expensive than probably what people give credit for. So you get 163 cards or something in the box set. And Andy's basically telling around because a lot of people were saying, "Oh, I've already got Greek models. Can I just buy the rulebook and the cards?" And Andy was like, "Yeah, you can, but that's going to be the same price."
Yeah, there's no real saving in it.
He basically said, "Yeah, we could sell them all. We could sell all the bits separately, but you'd end up paying the same as what you pay for the starter box." So basically, what they're giving you with the dice, the cards, the rulebook, the pebbles, you're basically getting the miniatures for free.
Yeah.
And that is obviously they're still making money. They're a business, but you are essentially paying for the gaming pieces rather than the actual miniatures.
Yeah.
Especially with the plastics. So when the metals come out, obviously the Spartan and the Athenian boxes are about £35.
Mm-hmm.
Or they are, no, they're not about, they are £35. But you're getting 3 metal miniatures, another 16 or so plastic miniatures, and you're getting another 30, 40 cards, more dice, and the bases and everything as well. Oh, and you also get the metal shields with them as well.
Yeah, all those nice, yes, the nice metal shields. Yeah,
you get the metal shields for every model in the war that comes in the box set. But yes. I've already used some of mine on other miniatures, so I'm fucked up. But I've got transfers somewhere buried in heaps of stuff. I know I've got transfers for the plastic minis. So I'm going to keep the transfers to the plastic minis and use the metal shields for the better looking minis, and stick a few of them here and there, maybe on some of the plastics. But
yeah, I mean, I've got transfers very stupidly. I ordered my transfers and realised I had all those other plastic Athenians to put transfers on as well, so I had to go and order more transfers. So idiot features here is that I had 2 orders of transfers from Vitrix, but at a very affordable P&P of £2.50 as well, which was decent. So, and they have all the transfers in stock, which
that's
they
quite
come
expensive.
quick. Yeah, so it's quite expensive.
£2.50 for postage. On
Yeah.
what a pack of transfers.
Yeah, in comparison to, they were £5 P&P from Warlord.
Yeah, but that's Warlord. They charge £5 standard.
Yeah, so I wasn't overly upset about that. But yeah, no, but I needed them, so
yeah.
So
Yes, fair.
had to do something. But no, I've just finished all my spears there and feet, by the way. So that's another thing off the list now. So it's good.
Nice.
Talking.
I need to just touch up.
I will.
Straps.
I don't know if you've seen this stuff in the works. You seen that?
No, I haven't. Close? I mean, I can see it.
It's basically a waxed paper palette.
Oh, like GW do one of those things.
Yeah, it's only a couple of quid, and it's absolutely amazing. I only got it yesterday, but it's absolutely brilliant for a palette. Just sit it there on your knee. I don't have paint going everywhere. The paint more sticks where it's meant to be. I mean, I'm a bit of a wet palette. Sorry, it dries out. Yeah, unfortunately, I've started using a wet palette, and I'm just about to experiment with this and see if it works in my wet palette. Because my wet palette is working to a degree, but my problem is when I tip it, all the paint freaking goes in the corner and everything. So I need to be careful with my wet palette. But I need a better wet palette, I think, basically. But this stuff been actually really good for these. Just being sat here on my knee, just painting away. So
I took these from work.
Yes.
So.
Right.
Yeah, this stores all my paints.
All right.
Except I actually can't fit as many in as I thought I would.
Yeah. I don't know if I've shown you this before, haven't I? I got this.
Oh, yeah, you've got the proper
Vallejo case. Now, it sounds crazy, but when you don't have a permanent setup workshop area kind of paint station, I do actually think this is fantastic, because what it does, obviously, is I have all my main paint colours in there, and it stores my brushes at the front as well. But yeah, that means I can just lift this out the cupboard when I want to paint.
Yeah, see, that is nice, but
I like that. I like what you've done there. Yeah.
So I'm gonna. I don't know how.
Find 40 more of them to store all your paints.
Well, actually, you say that, but
I did wonder how many you had, but I don't want to talk about.
Yeah, these came from work.
We don't want to talk about it, do we?
This is like what we actually use to display stuff at work.
Yeah, let's not go any further. We're not sure.
To be fair, I say that these were going to go in the bin, so I liberate. I looked at them and went, they look about the same size as Vallejo paint pots.
It's very good facts. I've tried that before. I've got it very, very well.
I'll take some home and just find out. Oh, those ones fell out. They don't count.
Dab of super glue on the bottom of them. That'll hold them in place.
Yeah, good idea.
Up here for thinking, lad. Up here for thinking.
Yeah, it's getting old. So I thought eventually, if I get those set up a little bit, that might organise my paints a little bit more. They might not. I might not use them, but I might use them for someone else in the end. But they look quite like it. I've got my washers in one of them at the moment. Right, anyway, I said I was going to take this offline actually, and then we started chatting more. So I'm going to take this offline now. So thanks for watching, people.
Yep.
And Chris, don't go anywhere because we'll be online for a bit. But we're offline.